Now that I have a few dozen paintings that I've painted, I want to sort of quickly memorialize them, get a few comments about each of them, recorded for posterity, and follow the journey of my paintings. I'll note quickly as we go along, I have no training in the painting or the visual arts whatsoever, so we will see the journey sort of starting from scratch. The first painting, and I think this is from 2007 to 2008, I was watching 2001: A Space Odyssey. I kind of had this idea, what if I make a little painting where I sort of combine the bone getting thrown in the air and a spaceship out in space. And I had some space on my walls I needed to fill in, and that also was an influence. I said, well, let me just go buy some painting supplies and make that painting. So I did, and that's the painting on the left. And of course, I had a little bit more paint sitting around, so I made this other painting on the right of a couple of primordial humans with a monolith. So I think this is around 2008. The next painting I made, almost certainly in 2008, was this sort of golf painting, golf in space. I figured if it's in space, you don't have to paint too much. So that's, most of the painting is just black. So that's what ended up here. And that's also my first attempt to paint a genuine human form there. Also in 2008, this, for those of you who it may not be obvious, which is everyone, this is one of the opening scenes in the novel Gravity's Rainbow by Thomas Pynchon. Yes, he's holding bananas. I got the idea as I painted this, hey, maybe I'll just make a painting every time I read a book, but I read too many books. That's like 20 to 25 books a year, and that's just not feasible. But this is an opening scene in Gravity's Rainbow. Also in 2008, you can see here, I had a little art book, and I kind of had the notion, let me try to do things like shade a curved surface like a coffee mug, so I painted a few coffee mugs. I don't even know if all three of these paintings still exist. The one on the right still exists. It's hanging in my house. I'm not sure what's happened to the other two. Did I give them away? Did I paint over them? Are they just stored somewhere? I have no idea. These three paintings, which I think I also made in 2008, were to commemorate a cross-country road trip I did with a friend in a moving van. I gave these paintings to him. So these paintings, I no longer have them. This is a buffalo standing in front of a house. I painted this for a friend who had bought a house looking very much like this house, and she was from Buffalo, New York, and that's how we got a buffalo with a house. By the time we're into 2009 here, I, for some reason, got this notion, let me paint some people writing in sort of various eras. So I painted out three paintings. I did a guy sort of in the Middle Ages on a scroll. I did a sort of 1930s newspaper guy with some whiskey, and then I did a sort of present day one with some movie posters. I gave these away to someone at some point. I don't have them. This also in 2009, I decided to paint my cat, and as you can see there, we've got the cat for reference. I gave this painting to my mother as a gift, and she still has it. This was another gift. This was in 2010. This is a rough commemoration of Italian dinner at my aunt's house, and I gave this to my aunt as a gift. This painting may no longer exist. She passed away around 2016, 2017, and I think the possessions of the house just got sort of cleared out. This painting may be in a dump somewhere. Also in 2010, and this we'll see as a recurring theme later on in my work, I painted the three writer paintings again. I think broadly under the thesis I could do a better job if I just keep painting the same thing over and over. I still own these paintings. They're hanging in my office. Also in 2010, I decided to commemorate a sort of South Jersey fishing scene here. It's not a specific place in South Jersey. It's just inspired by South Jersey with a jetty and a lighthouse. I gave this painting away as a gift, and he still has it. There we go again, and this is still in 2010. I said, let me just paint the painting again. This one's larger. This one's 36 by 24, but similar, a jetty and even a little South Jersey water tower there. I still own this painting. It's hanging in my living room. Here, I decided to, in order to try to make some paintings without having any skill in painting, I decided to just draw some shapes and then paint into them. And that created these 3 paintings. I still own these paintings. The top painting is Mount Rainier. As many people here in the Northwest can guess, the bottom painting is a pie and a coffee, as most people, when they see it, guess. And the one in the middle, no one has ever successfully guessed what it is. I agree it's very difficult, but no one's gotten it. In 2010, I decided upon a request to make a second golf and space painting. And there it is. It's a little better than the first one. And in fact, the person in the red shirt all the way on the right is me, hiding in my own painting. Also in 2010, I made this painting, which is sort of vaguely Jersey Shore-ish, kind of Ventnor-ish. I gave this to my mother as a gift, and she still has it. By the time we got into 2011, I decided to, again, sort of draw bubbles and then fill them in to make a painting instead of actually trying to paint. And actually, this painting has gotten rave reviews over the years. It's 36 by 24, I think, or even bigger. And it's still hanging here in my living room. Also in 2011, I painted this I think of this as a North African or Mediterranean scene of a lot of sort of pastel-colored houses. This was large. I don't have this painting anymore, so I don't remember its exact dimensions, but I gave this away as a gift, and as far as I know, it still exists. By 2012, I got a cabin in the woods in the Cascades around Cle Elum, Washington, and I said I'm going to paint a painting while I'm here in an isolated cabin, and this painting is what emerged, this UFO sighting. I gave this to my mother as a Christmas gift, and she still has it. This painting here is a painting with also some close-ups of some of the parts of it. It's just a sort of city scene of an old 3-story building. You can see my efforts at painting human beings there. I still own this painting. I think I painted this in 2014. I painted this in 2015. This painting decisively no longer exists. I was reading a lot of William Burroughs at the time, and in the sort of spirit of how he and some of his artistic collaborators did things, what I did here was I wrote on one axis in red from one of Burroughs' book, and I wrote on the other axis in blue from another Burroughs book. And then actually, if you took a red or blue light bulb and shined it on this, it would, zero out the red or the blue ink, and so you could actually read the text in one color or the other. Problem is, I did this in magic markers, and the colors promptly started fading away. Perhaps another Burroughsian touch. So this painting no longer exists. This, which I think I painted in 2016, is just a little tiny 6-inch by 6-inch scene, sort of vaguely West Seattle-ish. I just had a little spot on a wall where I needed a painting, and this is what I did. Also in 2016, this was another Christmas gift to my mother. I painted the 4 cats. That was my 2 previous cats and the 2 current cats at the time of the painting. And she still has this painting. For 2017, I decided to do a sort of golf painting as a gift for my mother. And this is it. I think this is, I don't have it in front of me. This is either 8 by 11 or 10 by 12 or something. And it was a gift, and my mother still has it. So in 2018, I decided to redo the William Burroughs painting that faded away, but this time I did it with an acrylic marker and just did it all in black. So it doesn't have any fancy behavior, shining different colored lights at it, but it does give a sort of exotic, look of text, almost like it's some sort of alien script, but it's actually just text written both vertically and horizontally. I still have this painting. For 2018 for Christmas, my mother's a Tiger Woods fan, so I painted this Tiger Woods painting. It's pretty closely modeled on a famous photo of Tiger, and that's usually not my methodology to sort of repaint a photo, but I did this here and she really likes it and she still has it. This notorious painting is my self-portrait, which I painted in 2019. It was intended as a birthday gift to my mother. I gave it to her. I could tell she was deeply disturbed. Something she didn't like about this painting, maybe even repulsed. I don't know if it's just a bad painting or if she has some sort of ancient Dago prohibition against people painting themselves. I don't know what it is, but she clearly didn't like this. So I took it back and I still have this painting. It's hanging in my house if it's not going to hang in her house. In 2020, after a golf trip to Bandon Dunes in Oregon, I painted this as a sort of little commemoration, and I gave it as a gift to the gentleman pictured on the right in this painting. And Jim still has it as far as I know. For a 2020 Christmas gift, my mother is a James Bond fan, so I decided to do this James Bond. This is a small painting. It's, I think, 6 inch by 6 inch. It's closely modeled on some photos I saw or movie stills, but it's not exact reproduction of any particular movie still, and she liked it. I don't know how much it looks like Sean Connery, but she liked it. For 2021 at Christmas, just paint what's on your mind, and I've been eating a lot of steak lately, so for the 2021 Christmas gift to my mother, I decided to paint a steak and some seltzer. She really liked this painting. I was trying to paint squash to make it more keto-friendly, but the squash was not working out, so I changed the squash to mashed potatoes, and that worked out, and now my mother has this painting. And the final painting on this video, I think, is at least somewhat inspired by doing a lot of trail walking here on Fidalgo Island. I just decided to do a little trail scene here along the water with some boulders and two people who are wearing sort of purple or lavender jackets just to make the color pop out against the rest of the scene. At first I painted them in gray, but it was not popping enough, so now they're wearing sort of lavender. And I still own this painting. It's hanging in my living room, and that's my paintings.